Welcome to the Wellness Transformation Journey podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Peters. When we begin a wellness or weight loss journey, we can get so focused on how much we eat or getting to the gym daily that we can find our moods shifting. We reach a point where we forget to find joy in our lives. Instead of building slowly, like using the 1% rule that I talked about in a previous episode, we dive in headfirst and reach a point where we start to burn out. Establishing a program or a system that allows us to enjoy the process helps keep us going for the long haul. In this episode, I'm going to discuss establishing an enjoyment-based exercise program. Finding joy in what you're doing helps keep us going when things get tough. While traditional approaches to wellness and weight loss can work for some, the problem for most of us is that they focus on restricting food and rely on willpower. Willpower can wear down as we move through the process, and it needs to be supported to keep us moving on our journey. Having restrictions without joy makes exercise and eating feel like punishment. We're deprived or that it's a reward. It's not sustainable and can lead us to making negative associations with healthy behaviors. Building our progress slowly and finding joy in what we're doing helps avoid psychological distress. For example, before I found joy in exercise, I had some mixed feelings related to exercise, and most of it was negative. I always liked lifting weights, and I was a power lifter when I was in high school. The part of lifting I didn't enjoy was the cardio side. I hated running and always had negative associations with it. I really didn't even like going outside on walks. Why? I don't fully know, but thinking about it, in part, the reason is probably associated to when I was growing up. I had family who would always push me to go on walks because it would make me lose weight. I only associated walking with work. When I moved to Tennessee and started hiking, I began to find joy in walking, but at times I still find it to be work. When I started combining photography with walking, I started to enjoy it more. Slowly, it grew from there. The biggest shift was not listening to others and finding something I enjoyed. Now I want to walk throughout the day and miss it if I don't. The motivation to do something can be driven by multiple factors, but the two most important driving forces are extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is the drive to do something for a reward or to avoid punishment. Intrinsic motivation is performing an activity for yourself. You do something because you enjoy it and the rewards are personal. Many of us have played competitive sports or we've done something competitive. It's natural to want to perform well, be on top, or to win. This isn't a bad thing. Depending on how you approach the situation, it can be rewarding. However, the drive and need to always win can become frustrating, especially if we aren't successful or don't get that high from winning at the end. Often, the more we compete and win, the more we need to win. While we may not see it this way because there may not be a physical reward, enjoyment is rewarding. When we feel positive about ourselves or feel relaxed while doing the activity, we continue to do it. This reinforces the habit through positive associations, and we keep coming back. This is not to say that there aren't times where we get tired of an activity. If so, switch it up or take a break. I love hiking and running, but there are times that I don't want to drive to the trail or hit the road for a run. When I feel like that, sometimes I'm just tired. Other times it's burnout. To determine if it's burnout, I'll start to run, and if after half a mile or a mile I'm not feeling it, then I shut it down. I'll take a break for a few days or so. When I take a break, I'll do something different like bike riding or weightlifting. I still exercise, but I'll scale it back or switch it up. As I previously talked about, we can often associate exercise to doing a job when we enter a wellness or weight loss journey. We feel obligated to get to the gym or go for a walk even if we're not feeling it. This can eventually lead to giving up because we feel like it's an obligation. Here's the catch. With joy and movement, There's no set standard on what movement looks like. It's different for everyone. It's about finding what you enjoy. When we think about traditional exercise, the first thoughts that probably come to mind are things like weight training, running, or something else intense. But it doesn't have to be that way. There's a large variety of activities you can try that don't require competition or pressure to perform. Even traditional exercise doesn't require pressure to perform. You can make it what you want. For instance, I run, but I would be considered a slow runner by many standards, and I'm fine with that. The only person I have to please or compete with is myself. Even when I enter races, it's not about beating anyone else. It's about doing what I want to do for myself. The most important thing is I like the way I feel. I do it alone as a way to decompress, and I don't care what people think. Explore what makes sense for you when it comes to exercise. Think about what makes sense for you and try different things. Maybe you like working out in groups or alone. Do you want to mix it up? Don't focus on the calories you burn, but think about how you feel. How does your body feel when you do that activity? What is your mood? When we were children, we found joy in moving our bodies. As adults, we don't often do that. Think about what brings that kind of joy to you. Experiment with different options. If you're like me, you may like to solo exercise. I'm okay with doing some things as part of a group when I exercise, but I prefer going at it alone. However, when I do exercise with others, I look for people who do it for joy, not because it's an obligation. You'll still burn calories, but it's about having fun. Think about the social setting you want. For me, it varies based on the situation I'm in. Something else to consider is the structure of your exercise and what it looks like for you. Does the activity you're doing need to be structured based on rules, a certain amount of time, or a particular time of day? Does an unstructured activity work better? Again, this can vary. Our lives are structured differently, so there's no one answer. On weekends, I'm usually more flexible, so I do long hikes without a time limit. During the week, I do more structured runs. When I'm training, most of my workouts are structured. No matter what the day is, I like to have some rhythm to my day, so I start early to get my day going. During the week, I structure my gym time in the afternoons after work and running around time constraints in the morning. There are multiple forms of enjoyment that can be found doing the same exercise. For instance, when I run and reach a runner's high, where time seems to disappear and I'm mentally relaxed, I feel good in multiple ways. Here are some ways to enjoy movement in many forms like dance, yoga, Zumba, running, pickleball, or more. Look for a flow state enjoyment, which are activities that make you feel immersed or like you have distorted time. It's a state of relaxation you find in doing something you enjoy. You can find social enjoyment in connecting with others through movement and company. Doing mastery enjoyment is finding pleasure in developing skills and seeing improvement. It allows for a methodical approach in things such as karate or yoga. You see improvement in your ability over time. Sensory enjoyment makes us feel physically and mentally good. Expression enjoyment is using movement as a creative or emotional outlet. This could be outlets you go to for relaxation that don't require much activity, but you do it for joy, like painting, crocheting, or photography. Last is nature enjoyment, where you find activities that connect you with the outdoors. Spending time in nature can bring joy, it reduces stress, and makes you feel more relaxed. You can combine several of these. For instance, I combine being out in nature and hiking with my photography. I also combine my running with my photography because I go out at sunrise and I like to get nice shots. Limiting yourself to one or two activities can lead to burnout. So switching activities up can bring different forms of enjoyment. Plus, there are things that happen, often outside of our control, that can limit certain activities. So have backup places to do the activity or backup activities. For example, if it's raining or bad weather outside, I go to the gym and run on the indoor track. or I do something at home like lift weights or jog in place. Things to consider when determining what you might do on a given day include your mood. There may be certain go-tos when you're in different moods. For me, when I feel good or playful, I like to do group activities or go to the gym to be around people. When I'm down or feeling depressed, running or hiking to get out in nature is a big deal to me. Activities don't need to be complex. Walking or doing a puzzle activates movement and mental activity. Time constraints can impact what you do as well. Think about what you can do around your work, travel, or other things. I get out early because I'm not a night person. Weather can impact outdoor activities, so have backup spaces. Like I say, I go to the gym and run on the indoor track, or I do things at home like run in place. Your energy levels will change daily, so avoid doing intense exercise every day because it can have severe physical and mental repercussions. Switch it up to support your body's rest, recovery, and emotional health. Social situations can also impact what you do as well. Sometimes the people you're with may not want to go do what you want to do, or they're just not comfortable doing what you do. That's fine, switch it up. Sometimes when I'm with friends, instead of going for a run because a lot of my friends aren't runners or they physically can't do that anymore, we'll go for a bike ride or just a nice walk in nature. When it comes to finding joy in exercise, start by doing an activity that you want to do for the pure joy of doing the activity. Gradually increase the time and intensity as your fitness improves. Add some small challenges or changes to make it fun, but make it achievable. This will help build your strength and skills. If you're losing the joy in the activity, then you're either building too fast or you need to switch it up. It's okay to back off or slow down to maintain the joy. Do what you want to do. Don't worry about what others tell you to do. In the next episode, I'll talk about eating for enjoyment.